There was a particular media pundit of whom put out this chart, put out this graphic here of the top 50 quarterbacks returning to college football, top 50 quarterbacks. And of the 50 that he's got, he had Bryce Young listed at number 13. Now, upon this hitting social media, a lot of you, as the Bama Nation, you guys were like, okay, it's on. Bryce Young at 13, there's no way there are 12 guys better than Bryce Young. I mean, I understand Bryce did not play an awful lot last season. He played in 9 games with only attempted 22 passes, completed 13 for $156 and 1 touchdown. But at the same time, a lot of U.S. fans are thinking, okay, this guy can't be better than Bryce Young. That guy can't be better than Bryce Young. You understand, some on this list, yes. But for a lot of you, not everybody on this list is better than Bryce Young. But we'll see. He's going to be able to face quite a few of these guys in the upcoming season. Just the 12 that were in front of Bryce here. And you've got Sam Howell out of North Carolina, Spencer Rattler out of Oklahoma, Dylan Gabriel of the University of Central Florida, Brock Purdy out of Iowa State. He was 4. DJ Uiagalelei out of Clemson. He was 5. Uiagalelei came in the same recruiting cycle as Bryce Young. Jaden Daniels out of Arizona State was 6. Desmond Ridder was 7. Out of Cincinnati, Michael Penix Jr. out of Indiana was 8. Matt Corral out of Ole Miss was 9. J.T. Daniels from Georgia was 10. De'Aaron King out of Miami was 11. And Dorian T. Robinson out of UCLA was 12 prior to getting to one Bryce Young. So for Bryce, this is a motivation factor for him. This is big motivation for him because if you guys remember, we had Coach Keith Miller out of California who scouted Bryce Young in the 8th grade. We had Coach Miller on the show, and what did he say, John? He said, Bill O'Brien, put your ego to the side, make the beats, make the music, get out the way, let Bryce Young do his thing, let Bryce Young run this offense. He referred to Bryce Young as Russell Wilson on steroids. He referred to Bryce Young as Johnny Manziel type of magic. So Keith Miller had a lot of big things to say. Coach Miller, a lot of big things to say about Bryce Young, the young man of whom he scouted. So this graphic should serve as major motivation here for Bryce. Now, I remember you as the Alabama fan base said, hey, Stephen, but look, Bryce doesn't have to do too much. He doesn't have to play outside of himself. He's got this defense, this great defense. He doesn't have to really overexert. I'd take a national championship over a Heisman Trophy any day, and I agree. I understand. But at the same time, when you've got, 12 guys being listed ahead of you, that should really irk a nerve. That should really push. That should really motivate because of these 12 guys, you've got De'Aaron King here on this list out of Miami, of whom is coming off an ACL injury, a serious knee issue. Will he be able to even move the same in the upcoming season? That's a big question. ACLs treat some guys different than others. Will De'Aaron King be able to be successful in that mobility? That's a big question. You've got, Matt Corral of Ole Miss. He's got talent. He's got potential. He's got big playability. Lane Kiffin was able to pull some things out of him in last year. But can Corral take that next step and be a leader and really push that Ole Miss team to not just maybe beating Alabama, but also maybe, having the program compete for or be in that conversation for an SEC championship. Have that program be in the conversation for the college football playoff. We'll see. When you look at DJ Uiagalelei, he's got a lot of talent coming out of that 2019 recruiting cycle, but replacing a leader, a talent, a name that was Trevor Lawrence, is DJ ready to step into those shoes and take that program start to finish as the guy, as the man, and win a national championship with that in the upcoming season? Hey, we'll see. So there are a lot of names on this list here, and 12 of those names ahead of Bryce Young. I mean, Young is gonna face De'Aaron King right off the bat to open the season up between Bama and Miami. He's gonna face Matt Corral of Ole Miss as the program will come to Tuscaloosa in the upcoming season. He will face JT Daniels of Georgia, especially if Georgia runs the SEC East and gets to the conference title game in Atlanta. He will more than likely face DJ Uiagalelei if Clemson gets to the college football playoff, which it should, because Clemson and the ACC, not much real competition that they face. So a few of these quarterbacks, Bryce Young is going to be able to see head on. What's funny to me, this list kind of reminds me of, remember the 2019 Alabama team that, the two-loss team that season where it lost to LSU at Bryant-Denny, 41-46. Tigers at the 46 there, of course, has escaped Bryant-Denny because of the fact that Tua playing with one leg there, still giving LSU the business, but suffered that loss there against LSU and then suffered the loss to Auburn at Jordan-Hare. After that loss, the polls put Alabama, dropped them to being ranked 13. And for you, the Bama Nation, it was, there is no way there are 7 teams better than the Crimson Tide. Just seeing how when it dropped to 13, it took them out of the opportunity to play in a New Year's Six Bowl. So a lot of you are like, a 2-loss Alabama team is better than half of these teams that are ahead of the program. And I kind of see the same thing here with this list with Bryce Young at 13. There are some great quarterbacks on this list, don't get me wrong. Sam Howell out of North Carolina, he's really good. I mean, he took that Tar Heel program and made it worth talking about this past year. Spencer Rattler's got a ton of talent, and he's working with the quarterback savant developer in Lincoln Riley. Brock Purdy's good out of Iowa State. There are some good guys on this list, but I feel like this season, with what is surrounding Bryce Young, especially if these wide receivers for the Crimson Tide hit and take this next step like they have the potential to do. You got the 2 tight ends in Jaleel Billingsley and Cameron Latou. You got these running backs that are going to really help Bryce out. You've got this offensive line. You get the best 5 guys in the field, or better yet, you get the guys that can help out with a Evan Neal, a Chris Owens, and Emil Ekiyor. If all of this can piece together, can gel together, can push together, then Alabama is going to have a dynamic offense led by number 9 running the show. Number 9 pulling the trigger here. So these 12 other quarterbacks listed ahead of Bryce Young, these 12 are good. These 12 have talent. These 12 have potential. Some of these 12 had limited seasons this past year due to the COVID pandemic. But when I look at just the overall talent, just the overall ability that Bryce brings to the table, and how Coach Saban talked about all spring, this is his team, this is his offense, he's running it, he's molding it, he's commanding it, and just how the players speak on him, how the Slade Bolden speak on him, how the offensive line speaks of him, even of how some of the defensive players speak of Bryce Young. But this is huge motivation for this young man. I don't know if he's seen this list or not, but this is huge motivation for him to see the list, digest it, take it in, but then use that to channel, hey, these other 12 guys, they're good, but watch 13. Watch number 13 guy you got on this list. I'm a pop. I'm a snap. I'm going to show you what I'm made of, being a quarterback that chose Alabama from the West Coast. But I'm going to show you what these California kids are about over here and playing football at the quarterback position.